Hey guys, Steve here with Canadian Style Hunter. Just got back from my first 3D archery weekend, the Southern Canadian Classic down in Harrow, Ontario, and I had a blast. I just wanted to share 3 things I learned. If you're like me and looking to maybe do some 3D archery, get into it and wondering what it's about. First of all, it's a lot of fun, and I encourage you to do it, especially a great event like they put on down there. Now, the 3 things I learned. Number one, first thing, I should have listened to some sage advice from Peter Ray from Vortex Canada. Binos, binoculars are your friend. Okay, my plan was just to go and just shoot like I was hunting. And you can, but it's a little bit different. How the scoring works is when I was at, there is a 10 ring, there's a larger 8, and there's 3 little circles that are 12s. And what the kill zone was, from my perspective, I'm in hunting animals, and where the scoring ring wasn't always the same. And so on day one, I was shooting, and sometimes I'd be happy with my shot, like, oh yeah, great shot, right underneath the armpit there, but it would be a 5, a miss, because I wasn't in the scoring area. I couldn't see it. My eyes aren't the greatest. Having a good pair of binoculars, I like Vortex, they're just fantastic. Can't beat the warranty. And being able to see where I was aiming and have a reference point clear, like, okay, where that crease comes, where that shadow is, having something to aim for on day 2 really helped. Number 2 is it is different than hunting. The pressure even is different than hunting. This took me 3 or 4, 4 or 5 different targets starting out to get in a groove to feel comfortable. Typically when hunting, we don't have very long. A deer comes out, especially if it's a mature buck, it comes out and we only have 10 or 15 seconds. We see it come out, we get our bow, especially if you're in a stand or a saddle like I prefer, then you have time to grab your bow, range it, get set, draw back, make everything is good, pick your mark and let it go. There's only a few seconds really of adrenaline, and you can be shaking, but you only have to be calm and still for like that 2 seconds, and then you hopefully have a short track job afterwards. Being in a group of multiple people and trying to aim and know there's scoring there and there's groups fairly close beside you on either side, it was a little unnerving to start with. There was a different type of adrenaline and pressure, and it took me a few a few targets to get used to it. I think if someone is looking to go to one, invite some buddies over and shoot together, so you have that feeling of people talking around you and not really to you, but around you and scoring, and just get used to that a little bit. Day 2, I found I was much more relaxed. I kind of knew, like, you know what, this is what it is. Just go. Had some great groups on both days. But just be aware, it's going to feel different than hunting or feel different than shooting arrows in your backyard. It's not a bad thing. It was a good thing to learn, but it's different. Number 3 is that you're going to need some water. One of those chairs, you see the pros, the ones who know what they're doing, a whole bunch of them have these little chairs. They have your arrows and your water and umbrella, and you can sit down. It's not like going to the woods or a 3D course where you shoot, walk at your arrow, and go back. There's a lot of waiting. Not an extensive amount, but you can be waiting a very bit of time. Having something that can have your water or snacks, some sunscreen, or an umbrella if it rains, something like that, is very helpful. Recognizing, I learned a couple things as well, even on the different targets, the light and the dark. If you range a black target, a really dark target in dark, and then the next one you range a really light target, which maybe in the sunlight, like an antelope with some brown and some white, the range, it's a laser coming out of the rangefinder. What it does when it's in darkness to a dark target and coming back compared to bright white sunlight can be different. And so there was one target in particular where I was actually third up to go, and so I had plenty of time to learn my lesson, but I didn't. The 2 guys in front of me, I was in a group of 3, they shot right, left to right above the target, but both of them were high. Their arrows were almost touching, and I ranged it, and it said 30 yards. I'm like, it looks closer, but even though they went high, and they kind of said, wow, that was higher than I thought. I shot, and sure enough, I was right with them as well. We were about 6 inches high. It was more like 25, 26 yards, most likely. But because it was a bright white target, it was just reflecting back brighter and a different signal. So learning what your rangefinder does under different lighting is helpful in one of these events. I encourage you to do it. Again, the Southern Canadian Classic was held down there. Bruno and Carrie did an amazing job, and all the volunteers want to give you a big shout out. But yeah, if you're looking to do some 3D archery, I encourage you to do it. It was a lot of fun, my first time. And again, go out there, have some fun, be in the outdoors, and enjoy yourselves. Have a good one, guys.